You are listening to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast, a show by personal trainers for personal trainers. It's time to become a better trainer, get more clients, and change more lives. And now, here's your host, the head coach and founder of Fitness Mentors, Eddie Lester.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Certified Personal Trainer Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Lester, and I'm very grateful to be joined by Mason Bendewald today. He is the CEO and founder of Mega Mace Fitness Productions, and is also a director with hundreds of workout videos to his credit, including, which most of you guys know, the most successful fitness series of all time, P90X. He also works internationally with top names and brands in professional fitness, really working to craft innovative programs that blaze a trail through the fitness industry. So, Mason, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Eddie. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, we connected a few weeks ago, and I thought it was so, interesting in what you did. And it's such a unique, we'll say, pathway within the fitness industry. So I know you've worked with hundreds and hundreds of trainers, so very excited to have you here and really give our audience a really good opportunity to learn about from your experience around how your angle of this career path panned out.
Yeah, your audience is exactly the group that I love working with the most, which is helping bring talent, fitness talent to camera so they can reach and help even more people.
Awesome. Very cool. So talk to me a little bit about to camera and your kind of experience as you came up and what really got you to this point.
So just a quick background. I was born and raised in New York City and went to the High School of Performing Arts. And so I was a trained actor and dancer. And when I decided to transition into film and video, I found myself with the opportunity of working in fitness, which was not something I was like, hey, I can't wait to be the best fitness director on the planet. I wanted to be Scorsese or Spielberg, but I was very fortunate. I found this niche and I took everything that I had learned there from acting and dancing and performing and brought that to the lens. So what I really do in a nutshell is I help corporations and trainers transition from being trainers that are used to being in a gym or a one-on-one situation and turning them into, in essence, star trainers in front of the camera. And that's a big difference. A lot of people think it's really easy until they try and do it. Mm-hmm. And then you realize it's like two different crafts completely. And some people can do it easily. A lot of people, it takes work. Most people can achieve it if they're willing to put in the time and the effort though.
I love it. And a lot of what we do here is help personal trainers in all aspects of fitness. And one of our specific angles is really helping personal trainers with virtual training options and helping to connect with more people online. And, a few of those specific services that we talk about are really, performing in front of a camera or basically, recording yourself on video or recording yourself and doing live streams with your audience or with your clients. So this really seems to fit right in line with how we, help people set up that element of the business. But, we don't do any coaching relating to your performance on camera. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So one thing I'd love to just share with you and your audience is a couple of the things that I do. Mm-hmm. And your listeners can try this along at home. Awesome. But I'll start with you, which is the difference between if you and I are training together and you're training me, most trainers know this already. You're a bit of a therapist because I'm there talking about my hard week or my kids or my wife or my job. And you're listening and you're kind of giving me feedback and I'm getting a workout. But what I'm really getting there is some intimate time with somebody who's really listening to me.
Absolutely.
You can't do that on camera. Mm-hmm. This is if it's a one way, like right now we're having a Zoom call, it's different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if I'm just performing to camera or you have to recreate that sense of intimacy so that the person on the other side feels as if this is an intimate connection. Yeah. And what most trainers do when they first transition from the gym or one-on-one training in front of the lens is exactly what they used to do in, let's say, group fitness, which is call out, hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going, guys? Mm-hmm. Well, The problem with that is if I'm at home alone working out and I hear everybody and guys, I don't feel seen. Mm-hmm. If I just eliminate those two words, all of a sudden I feel like, oh, you're talking to me. So just like people are listening to us having an intimate conversation right now.
Yeah.
You and I aren't saying, hey guys, if you're listening at home, we're having an intimate conversation, and it feels as if you're dropping in on something personal, which makes it more interesting. Mm-hmm. So one of the things your listeners can do, and I'd like you to do with us right now, is tell me about a life-changing moment in your life.
Okay. All right. So yeah,
just one, and it doesn't have to be the long version, but just something that's you would only normally share with, a good friend over a beer or in the backyard while you're hanging out. And it doesn't have to be overly personal. I'm not looking for something, but yeah, anything that changed your life, just one moment in time.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So actually kind of relating to what got me into this industry, I'll share a story, but, when I was 14 years old, I actually was ran over by a lifeguard truck.
Wow.
I was sitting on the beach and watching my friends surf, and all of a sudden, more or less, came back to consciousness, and I was underneath a truck.
Holy cow.
And yeah, as a 14-year-old, I was super confused because I don't remember the part of being hit or anything that happened in between, but about 10 seconds or so after I was under this truck, I came to and started cussing at whatever had happened. But it was a major life-changing moment because as this Gumby, flexible 14-year-old, I came out more or less relatively unscathed with just some minor back injuries and a knee injury, but that actually really connected me to physical therapy. And from physical therapy, I learned so much about the body and how it worked, and really recovering from some minor injuries really sparked my interest in this field of helping people with their health, fitness, and basically recover from injury.
That's amazing. What did the lifeguards say when they discovered you?
Well,
it was underneath their truck.
Yeah, they didn't see me until they felt something kind of bump. So they immediately, as helpers as they are, because I've had plenty of amazing experiences with lifeguards, but as amazing as they are, they immediately went into action mode and were working to get me out from underneath the truck. And I didn't really get to connect with the driver because there was 3 people on the truck running a normal daily operation to watch the water. But I didn't really get to connect with the driver until maybe actually that afternoon. He actually knocked on my door and just apologized, and actually he was a musician as well, so he actually he bought me a guitar and taught me guitar, which I still play today. Wow. So a lot of unique, fun, amazing things really came from that. But it was yeah, I mean, it was such a unique time that when you said a story that's really connected with me.
I really appreciate you sharing something that, for a lot of people, it might be hard to share. It's a traumatic experience, but I would venture to say, Eddie, that your listeners now have a deeper connection with you from that one moment. Because many people, as soon as you're on camera, as soon as you sit in front of a microphone or stand in front of a lens, people immediately give you this kind of credit as being an authority. And in essence, we all think that people on camera have these perfect lives, the Instagram effect, the movie star, whatever it is. So even if you're a trainer and you're now creating content for people to work out with, people look at you and go, that person's perfect. And that kind of creates a little bit of a blockade. In the old days, it kind of worked. We like to think of people as perfect. Today, we like that varnish to be taken off. I like to cite Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, biggest movie star on the planet at the moment. And his behind the scenes, his Instagram feeds, his really make you feel like you know the guy. Yeah. Because look, he's larger than life. He's this perfect specimen of a male. He seems to have it all. And yet you see him very self-effacing. You see him tell his stories when he was younger, about how he's teased, how they didn't have a lot of money. And now he also talks about being a very proud father of daughters, versus you kind of look at him and you think like, oh, he's super macho, but he's got this really tender heart side. Mm-hmm. So what you did is akin to that. You just drew me in a little bit more. And truthfully, we don't know each other that well. Mm-hmm. I respect and feel like I'm closer to you. And that's a real benefit if you are trying to change people's lives, because I trust you a little bit more now.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that exercise. And for those of you at home, when you're thinking about, using something like this, well, I guess the question is for you, but when is this something that you do with the trainers that are on your, we'll say, shows? No, I don't want to call them shows, on your in your routines, or okay.
I get it. Right now I'm building a program that'll take people through a whole host of like the exercises I just did with you. Mm-hmm. So that's something like your audience could benefit from. Mm-hmm. But then I'm also hired by larger companies. I'm going to Italy to work with Techno Gym trainers.
Oh, awesome.
At the end of this month. Yeah, we're already here. So at the end of this month, I'll be in Italy. But I've worked with tons and tons of trainers, both virtually and then in corporate environments. And it's really gratifying because it really just takes, some basic skills to unlock the performance on camera techniques so that you can continue to share and grow your audience. And the real benefit for trainers like yours is that at some point, when you're really successful, you kind of go, hey, I only have so many hours in the week. But if you've got content that lives online that is evergreen, you can keep on making money from that. So that's why most trainers eventually transition and do part, if not all, of their business online with digital content. So it's a real value to learn how to differentiate yourself and get the skills so that you can perform well in front of a lens.
Absolutely. And but really, what we share a lot here is connecting with your audience, and sharing more about the bigger picture that brought you in and why you're helping people, and really seeing that we aren't just helping people with their health and their fitness. It's really so much more than that, and bringing in that connection with an exercise like that, or using something like that to draw on your audience, like you said, is a really good tool that I think our audience would definitely benefit from. So that's awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
And the other one I kind of threw in there at the beginning is learning how to talk to one person. And talking to one person is as simple as eliminating the, hey guys, what's up everybody? Mm-hmm. And you just eliminate those, and all of a sudden it feels more intimate.
Very cool. Yeah. I love that. So I know we talked prior to this, and you had a few additional tips, because like I said, our audience is kind of moving into becoming a virtual trainer. They're exploring some options as far as starting with recording themselves on video or doing live video classes. Talk to me a little bit about how, or maybe some tips that you might be able to use to help our trainers in a similar situation.
Yeah, so there's really a ton of them. I'll give you some of the most basics. Most trainers, when they get in front of the camera, because they don't have somebody in front of them that they're now talking to and referencing, what's actually going on in their body, they have to do it with themselves. Mm-hmm. And this one is 99%. I mean, if you're a yogi, maybe not. Yogis are the few that do this better. And it's really funny. And I challenge every trainer who's listening to this to really check yourself and see if you do this. Mm-hmm. Almost every trainer says, don't forget to breathe. And then they don't breathe. And that's good. There is not a trainer in history that I've ever seen that says, this is how you do a push-up, and then they don't demo it. They love demoing everything, but they won't demo a breath.
Yeah.
And the brilliant part of demoing how to breathe is that it really helps you slow down. It gives your listeners a chance to actually take in all the stuff that you've been saying, because good trainers that have been certified with you have learned all this vernacular, all of these cues, all this stuff, and they want to share it. And it's great that they're doing that. But what most trainers do in front of the lens is they get nervous, they get excited, and they never stop talking.
Yeah.
So if you say, don't forget to breathe. Okay, let's get into those push-ups again.
Yeah. No, that positive. Yeah. It made me sit, pay attention, and think about exactly what we've been talking about. That's amazing.
And it resets the trainer too. So if I'm on camera and I give myself that break, it feels like a million. You're like, oh my God, that's taking way too much time. It's not. It's perfect. Just that moment that I took a deep breath is time for everybody. It's time for your listeners to take a pause in their brain and catch up. It's time for you to reset. And often trainers start to speed up with their excitement and as they're driving through, as their blood's going, and taking that deep breath really helps reset and master you in front of the camera. So that's a big one. Breathing, actually doing it.
No, I love that, because I could even benefit from that, because I do a ton of audio-based lecturing. I do this podcast, and oftentimes I'm thinking I need to fill every single moment of this 30-minute lecture with words. And that pause, just the way that you demonstrated right there, gave me a full understanding of how powerful that little tool and technique could be.
The old adage, silence is golden. There really is something to be said for that. So when I'm lecturing, teaching, I'll often give a buildup, and then I literally will I'll take a breath and walk the stage and let everybody think. It actually adds this weight and significance to something you've just said, as opposed to going, I've got to say something more important and share everything. You want people coming back. You don't want to. I'm not going to be able to, in our short interview, share everything that I would like to share. The idea is I want ultimately people to seek me out and learn more. You want people to come back to your podcast to keep on learning more. You don't try and give it all away in one podcast. So it's the same idea. And the value of silence, I don't know how to express it in any other way than what I just said, which is it makes thoughts sink in deeper.
No, that's an amazing tip. And I mean, just thinking about some of the best speakers that I've seen, that I can remember very specifically 2 to 4 times within their talk that in which they go silent for almost 5 to 10 seconds, and it feels like forever, but it has me on the edge of my seat.
Yes.
And yeah,
that's a great way of saying it. It puts you on the edge of your seat when you're like, what are they thinking about? What are they going to say next? As opposed to almost zoning out. I know this happens in fitness a lot. Because I've checked with people who have just gone through a routine, and I said, how did you feel? How did that all go? And they're like, yeah, I kind of zoned out at a point because it was all just talk and filler versus this was really important. And I also will tell trainers, if it's really important, say it again. So I've said silence is golden more than once, but you can even take a pause and then repeat that. And here's one more tip. This kind of all goes together, is pick a theme and stick with it. Yeah. I'll talk about an example. I'm not going to disparage any brands, but I went and took a class. This is a long time ago now, very, very popular class. And the energy was really up, and it's in person, so you can get away with playing top 40 music, and the lighting's cool. And the trainer, who was incredibly energetic and motivated, went from one incredible theme and idea to another, to another, to another, to another, to another. So much so that I didn't buy into it. I was like, you can't be like if you just want to pick one theme, let's just say, the idea of climbing Everest, that today it's your Everest. Mm-hmm. Keeping that imagery is so big and vast. I mean, I could paint that picture for days, what that feels like, what the struggles are, what the challenges are, what it feels like to finally, summit to base camp. And we can do that virtually together through fitness. But if I just touch on Everest is amazing. Now I'm going to talk about being at the beach and feeling how incredible it is to be on vacation. And then I'm talking about riding my bike and I just go around, you're the best. And it's too much. Pick one concept, one idea, and slowly thread it through your workout. Because then you can have your bookends. Yep. So let's go back to your theme. I can actually do this on the fly with you. I love it. Your theme, if you were training somebody virtually, let's say it was an actual workout, not a one-on-one, but you're creating this and you're doing a 20-minute HIIT workout. You could start off by saying, hey, I'm Eddie, and today we're going to do a HIIT workout, but I'm going to share something very intimate with you that I've never shared before. I was actually run over by a lifeguard truck when I was 14, and it changed my life. All right, I'm going to get back to that, but let's get to our workout. Already, man, I am on the hook. Yeah, I'm like, I want to know what's going on. So I'm going to work harder with you because you're sharing, and I'm not going to be like looking at my phone. I'm not going to be like looking at my watch, like how much more. I'm waiting for you to share more of this incredible story because I've never heard anybody of getting run over by a lifeguard truck and living. Mm-hmm. So your theme then can continue to be about how you picked yourself up, recovered, and then turned that horrifying near-death experience into your profession of helping people. And your bookend to that could be your what you discovered, and you're messaging it to your audience of. And so whenever I get knocked down, I remind myself of being under that lifeguard truck for 10 seconds where I thought I could die. And I just get back up and I face the world and I put one foot in front of the other. I'm Eddie. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
You brought me into my own story right there. I was like, no, I mean, it's that is such an amazing technique because, and it's almost, very similarly is that you're introducing storytelling, but so specifically just to something that we often don't think to include as fitness professionals. It's very easy for us as professionals, and I've been doing this for 2 decades, to get lost in like you said, get lost in the workout, to get lost in the details, to get lost in the vernacular, the technology that you're tracking. All of that stuff is very, very, we'll say great for us as trainers, but does the client really care about everything that we know and want to share with them as much as they would, be drawn in from a great story that brings them through their whole workout?
Right. I say to trainers, this will blow your mind. Is like after you've gotten your certifications and everything, when I'm working with you, I go, I don't care about fitness. That is, as soon as you step in front of the lens, that becomes secondary. Everybody who's listening now is going, what is this guy talking about? How can he be on Eddie's show? This is about fitness. Well, when you step in front of the lens, it's about entertainment. You have to be a great trainer. You can't do ridiculous stuff that's going to get me hurt. But if you're entertaining me, I'm going to stick with it. And if I stick with it and I'm entertained, I'm going to sweat and I'm going to go, hey, that was a great workout. And I'm going to come back and then I'm going to get results. And then I'm going to tell everybody else. And then you're going to get rich and famous. It's almost that simple.
Right. Yeah.
But it's true. If you can entertain me, that's what I keep coming back for. Right now, there is a glut of free content on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, wherever you want to go, you can find fitness. So how do you step away from the masses? And one of that is being uniquely yourself. And only way to really do that, or the main way I should say, is through your personal stories, through your life. And the top 1% of trainers out there know this and do that well. And you can think about almost any personality. I mean, I'm constantly analyzing this when I watch TV, when I look at anything. I go, why is this person entertaining? What is it that they're doing that is engaging? And in some cases, and your viewers should really think about this. It's not, well, you have to eliminate music, because when you're in a group fitness situation and you're playing top 40 music, that is 50% or more of the energy and attraction. The other part, a lot of it has to do with the people in the room. Mm-hmm. So if you're a great trainer who knows how to curate a great playlist, that and the group that comes in is a huge part of the energy. So I discount all of that when I talk about performing in front of the lens. And I say, you don't get to play top 40 music in front of the lens. You really have to bring something else to entertain. And a story is just one of them. There's quite a other list: how you talk to people, smiling on camera, moving, the cadence of your voice. The list goes on and on. But that's a beginning of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, just kind of touching upon a point that you brought up is we say, you know, like, how do you differentiate yourself from the masses, from, you know, there's hundreds and thousands of millions of free pieces of fitness content out there that people can get completely for free. How are you going to differentiate yourself? And we always say you're building a personal connection with your clients. That's what we typically say.
Yeah, agreed.
And you do that through being, like you said, uniquely yourself. And we've never really had a methodology about how do you be uniquely yourself. So I feel like this really ties into that point of, you know, when our clients are out, or our trainers are out there thinking about trying to get new clients and you know, bringing people on board and keeping them and retaining these clients. It's so much of it, I didn't realize, is actually about obviously building that personal connection, but also the entertainment value, which I've never really thought of. Yeah. Myself being behind the mic, being a presenter and a teacher, I've never really stepped back and thought about, am I entertaining these people? Am I you know, performing in a way that motivates them to continue? And why are they here? And I mean, there's so many thoughts that I just kind of naturally just went about, and but realize if I can even put more effort into the storytelling and the entertainment aspect, and the connection building just about myself, just with that exercise that you did, I feel like there's many things that I can improve upon relating to well, my goal is to help more people.
Right. And I love that.
And that's something that is a huge tool that I feel a lot of our you know, people or listeners out there could benefit from.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm excited that some of what I've learned could help you in a small way, because you're helping so many people. So that's super cool.
Yeah. And that's something I always talk about, the big picture. And this is actually a way to encourage that bigger picture, which is that bigger picture for all trainers, is you're looking to go out there and help the world become healthier, more fit, happier, and how all of that really bleeds into their lives and their careers and their family and their everyday moments.
Absolutely.
When people feel their best, they are going to be their happiest and live their life to the fullest. And that exponential effect of what we really you know, try to connect with our fitness, you know, pathway. It's really about that bigger picture and helping others so much more beyond than just that. Yeah,
it's so true. And the cool thing about this industry is that people want to help people. And that you don't find that, like, a lot of places, all people want to do is make money. Cool part is you can do both here.
Yeah.
But you're motivated by, you know, a lot of people are really motivated. Like, I don't want to sit in a desk. It's not just about money. It's about helping people. And if there was one thing, and this is easy to say and hard to do, but if there's one thing, you know, I'd leave your listeners with, is learn everything, follow the rules, get certified, and then do everything differently.
I love that.
And that's what I've learned over 20 years of doing this. I did it by chance the first time with P90X because I really didn't like fitness. I was young. I didn't really need to be instructed. And I was offered this job, long story very short. And I said, yeah, I want to do it all differently. I really don't. All due respect to Jane Fonda. She was kind of like top dog of video sales, and just kind of looked at that, and it was all pastel and perfect and synchronized. And P90X was an opportunity to really mix it up. I didn't create the workouts, but I had the opportunity to be the one who figured out how to present them. And I just deconstructed what was going on and said, how do I just do this differently, entertain people, and tell a story? That was one of my motivations without overthinking that. And all the producers and people involved from Beachbody were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. And luckily the CEO was very trusting of my talents. I don't know why I hadn't done that much, but he was like, okay, you got a vision, and go for it. And so today it's second nature because of our technology's changed, and because P90X really changed. It was like a new paradigm in how we experience fitness, but there was storytelling in it. There was a lot of fun, and we let it get messy too. That was the other thing. It didn't have to be perfect. That was probably the biggest change that I brought to the table was it's okay to make mistakes. They used to shoot things multiple times and then edit together the best. And I said, we're doing it in one take. And everybody was like, what? And I said, yeah, we're going to rehearse it so that it's not like a free for all, but we're doing it in one take. If there's a real problem, we'll cut. But otherwise, I want to see people fail on camera. I want to see the sweat, literally like close up, like slippery, messy, ugly sweat. And that was part of the story and the energy. And it was not the hard part to remember is that was not done that way before. It used to be perfect. Like, we're going to work out and we're going to all look in unison. And so your listeners, as they get better and better at their craft, after they've learned all the things they need to learn professionally, is then to go and deconstruct it and say, how can I be myself more? Because somebody, I'm going to make this up, somebody who's born in Puerto Rico and speaks Spanish and has reference to different foods and different experiences and smells and humid weather, bringing all that to the table, bringing something that your grandmother used to say or do into your workout, bringing some Spanish into your workout, even if it's an English speaking audience, that is all texture and makes it more interesting and makes me connect more with you. So stop trying to be like every other trainer, be more of yourself once you learn the basics. And that is a recipe for success in front of the camera.
I love that. Awesome. Well, tell us more about, where we can learn more about what you do and, kind of follow your journey as you assist, people behind the lens.
Well, thanks, Eddie. One thing I'd like to offer your listeners is just a PDF download of some of the things I covered and 10 others. So it's like the 10 things the top 1% of trainers, digital trainers do great. And you can get that at thevideogym.com/Mason. So Mason. That's easy. MASON, thevideogym.com/Mason. And then there's also my website, which is my company, Megamace, MEGAMACE.com. That's mostly the big corporate stuff that I've done in the past, but there's also a LinkedIn connection there. And I would, any way I can help you and your listeners moving forward, it's my pleasure.
Awesome. And go and where are they going to download that? Or what website was that again?
thevideogym.com/Mason. And you go in there, you just enter your email address and you get this PDF.
Very
and
cool.
There's even little practice things they can do in there. So it's a little bit of what we just did, but a list of 10. So it's very helpful. You got to work on it and it'll up your game quite a bit.
No, then I'll go ahead and throw that link in the notes in the bio, but both
Awesome.
links to your website. I'm honestly going to go download that right now. As many of these podcasts and things behind the camera I do, I feel like there's a lot of improvement I can do. So I really appreciate those tips as well as all the tips you gave today. So thank you.
Awesome, Eddie. Well, it's been a great pleasure being on here. And I know you do great work with trainers, helping level them up. So if this helps a little bit, it was my pleasure.
Yeah, no, that's the goal, is every day to get just a little bit better, put in the work to improve your craft. And that's how we really create, sustainable careers in this industry. So yeah, Mason, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Go and check out those links in the bio. He'll get you all set up and dialed behind the camera, in front of the camera, I should say. And it's been a pleasure.
All mine. Thanks a lot, Eddie.
All right, guys. I will see you next week on the Certified Personal Trainer podcast. Until then, have a good one.
As always, thanks for listening to the Certified Personal Trainer podcast. You can learn more about fitness mentors at fitnessmentors.com. Be sure to share this podcast on social media. And remember, we are here to help you succeed.